Hi! This here is a Toshiba Libretto 100 CT. It's pretty cool, right? I love these little form factor laptops, and when I found this while antiquing, I had to jump on it. After I picked it up though, I realized it was a little bit more than I anticipated, but I got it anyway, brought it home, fixed it up, and here it is. Now I don't want to ruin the surprise of why this was a bigger project than I anticipated, but let's get into it. The Libretto is a series of sub-notebooks produced by Toshiba, starting with the Libretto 20, released only in Japan in April of 1996. It was upgraded a few times before landing on the model I have here, the Libretto 100 CT. Now I'm not 100% sure on the release date for the 100, as the Japanese press release states March of 1998, but an English technology review from Toshiba lists introduced in October 1997. Either way, it's an adorable little device, measuring just 210 by 132mm, and at only 35mm high, it's about the same size as a VHS cassette. Toshiba managed to pack in an Intel Pentium MMX clocking in at 166MHz, paired with 32 megs of RAM, which could be expanded to 64. Some boffins have even figured out how to cram up to 96 meg in there since then. It also has a gorgeous 7.1-inch TFT display capable of 800 by 400 pixel resolution and 24-bit color. And since it's a TFT, it has none of the ghosting most STN displays of the time showed, making it great for some on-the-go DOS gaming. The graphics were provided by a Neo Magic chip, which were okay, but sound from a Yamaha OPL3 SA-X chip gave excellent Sound Blaster Pro, WSS, MPU 401 and OPL3 compatibility. The keyboard is a small 80 key affair, which may be a bit too small if you have large fingers, but you do get used to typing pretty quickly. And the mouse is a nipple up on the screen with just 2 buttons on the back. All in all, a terrific little portable with a lot going on. For now though, let's jump back in time to when I first started working on it. And here it is, the Toshiba Libretto 100 CT. Now, the astute of you may have noticed it's actually looking in pretty bad condition. It's rather dirty. We're missing a hinge up here, but well, more than anything, it's actually in 2 parts. So this is how we found it. My wife and I were actually mucking around doing a little bit of birthday antiquing, and yeah, I came across this Libretto just in 2 pieces sitting on the floor. So they wanted, I think it was $50, I offered 10 and they took it, so here we are. Now the one thing I didn't notice, but I've just actually noticed here, is it actually has a memory expansion, so that's kind of cool. And it did come with a little assortment of broken bits of plastic, which we can do something with. I think that one is there maybe. Yeah, I think that's on the back of the keyboard, possibly. I don't know. Yeah, it's a mess. Let's see if we can get any sign of life out of this whatsoever, and maybe even if we can get it up and running again, maybe we can see if we can get it back to a shiny state and fully restored, or at least as fully as I can get it with quite a lot broken. But yeah, so I mean, first things first, let's get the 2 halves back together. It should be pretty straightforward. It looks like we've got a display connector. We'll have that's a connector for the keyboard. This memory module can go back in there, and then whatever this is, maybe that's backlight power. Or a speaker or something in that connector there. And then that's pretty much it. It doesn't have a hard drive installed. It's completely missing the hard drive sled. So I don't know, maybe it'll boot to BIOS and then complain about not having a hard drive, so we'll see. So yeah, what's this for? It must be a dock or an expansion connector. Okay, and I mean that's obviously broken there as well. It's in certainly a state. More plastic breaking. It looks like it's taken a pretty big tumble on this side and cracked a lot of the plastics. Hopefully even that screen's in a good state. I don't know, we'll see. Okay, so let's try, first of all, let's see if we can get the screen hinges with the keyboard. So the keyboard's stuck down with 2 screws right there, that's fine. Let's see if we can get It's just resting up here, and we'll see if we can connect to these cables back up. So that's back together. What I might do just for a second is just close it up a little bit and take a look on the back and the bottom. So it wants DC 15 volts, and oh yeah, there we go. We've got a little proprietary Toshiba connector, of course. Yeah, no idea what I can do with that. Oh no, what I've got, let's go through. Let me just keep this old yogurt tub of all my wires. Just go through. Do that. That's 3 wires with pins now. Oh, maybe. That could work. Alright, let's take one of those off. Let's see if we can jam the 2 ends there on these pins. Let's get one there. And then that's just a bit too, yeah, it's just a bit too wide, as you can see there. Not quite. Okay, well, let's, next best thing, I'll just clip off the end. Wait, which one? Positive. Okay, so let's do, purple is positive and grey will be negative, so let's do that. We'll just trim a little bit of that wire. Oops, there we go. Just twist that around. And then what we can do is just, so it's actually got polarity on there, so that way is negative, this side's negative, and that side's positive. So let's plug the pin into the positive. And then let's just jam the other bit of wire in there. We'll see if that makes a good connection. So like I said, we had grey is negative, and red will be positive, and we want, let's go 15 volts. Let's start with half an amp, even though it definitely needs more than that. And on. Okay, so we've got some lights here now. Looks like it's trying to charge and it knows it has power. Let's try turning it on. Oh, come on. Can't be that easy. No. Okay. Yeah. Oh. Definitely not that easy. Ooh. So it looks like it knows how to do power. It did a soft off then. Let's just double check those connectors on the bottom. Make sure that everything's actually connected still. Oh, maybe that memory connector wasn't actually properly in. There we go, nice and solid. Oh, I just heard the speaker click, as if it was trying to initialize. Still nothing on the screen though. But the fact that we're getting lights up here means that that connector would be properly connected, because otherwise, I mean, there's literally 2 wires there. I mean, like I said, I'm assuming that's for the speaker. But all of these wires in the LCD and the power switch and everything, the mouse and all that, would need to be on that only other one connector. And we wouldn't be getting power. Let's see, it just turned itself off. It's like it's not initializing. Okay. You know what, let's try, because I grabbed a hard drive just off my shelf. I don't actually know what's on this, but it's just a spare ATA, IDE, sorry, parallel ATA 2.5-inch hard drive. Let's just slot it in and see if it actually starts spinning that up even. So I'm just looking at the connectors down there. I don't know if you can see. No, you cannot. Let's see if I can get a torch or something. The only thing I've got handy is this keyring. Let's see if that works. Alright, it's not too bad. Okay, so there you go. So you can see the IDE connector at the bottom there. So let's try, it looks like it's on the upside, so we'd have to put the hard drive in this way. So let's just jam that in, even without a caddy in, and see, because it fits actually quite snugly. Oh yeah, there it goes, just slot it right in. Okay, let's make sure we're still wired in. Let's give it some power and see what happens. Ooh, spins up the hard drive really well. Oh! Oh, come on. It can't be that easy. Oh. Disk read error occurred. Control delete to restart. And that screen looks beautiful, actually. There you go. Let's have a look. Control Alt delete. The keyboard doesn't seem to be working. Whoops. Okay, maybe that connector's not actually connected properly. No, it looks like it's still out a little bit. Alright, let's just power it off. Don't know what that means. Alright, let's oh wow. So I just killed the power to my power supply. It's actually charged the battery too. And the battery's holding charge. Oh, yeah, no, that's it. It's gonna die. Come on. There we go. Oh, that's funny. Okay. Actually, you know what we'll do? We'll take it out. And let's give it the old wipey wipe as well. I need 3 hands for this. Okay. Okay, let's give it some more power. And let's fire it up again. I might just bend this all the way back so you can see. Touch with tomorrow. Disk, so I just go straight into the disk now. Control delete. Hey, keyboard. Disk read error. So yeah, that disk must be balked, but hey, look at that. Actually signs of life. I wonder if we can... Okay, so that's working now. We can get into like a BIOS or something. I'm going to spam delete probably. No. Let's try F2. Nope. Let's try F10. Nope. Let's try going to Google and asking. Okay. You hold down the escape key. Check system. Press F1. Hey, there we go. System setup. All right, so we got 65 meg RAM, well 64 meg, 65,536 kilobytes. So these came by default with 32 meg, so that must be a 32 megabyte upgrade board. We've got pointing devices auto selected, so that would be the little nub, and it's got 2 mouse buttons on the side. We've got a parallel port, enhanced IDE, maybe we can change that. What have we got? Backspace or space, standard IDE. Let's try standard IDE, why not? Boot priority, floppy drive, so that would be over PCMCIA. And then hard drive, which we don't have. Got power on display, which, I mean, I'm guessing this had from that external connector on the back, dock that you could plug in, and that would give you either both or, yep. LCD display stretch. What was that do? Ooh. Stretches to fill the built-in LCD. Badly. Let's leave that disabled. Power up mode. Boot. Resume. Hibernate. Oh, okay. It must have like a system level hibernation. That's kind of cool. CPU cache. Yeah, right back. Sure. Alarms. Low battery. Panel close. So that'll be like close the screen. System beeps. And we've also got page up and page down, which are function. Another page here, so... Oh, okay, so the BIOS can control all devices. We'll let the OS handle it. We've got a serial or parallel port. It's got sound, so it's a WSS. And it emulates an SB Pro. Whoa. MPU 401 as well? That's gonna be good. Might be an amazing portable little DOS gaming machine if I can get it working again. Like, well, not working, but together. VGA Sigma, yeah. There you go. Built-in hard drive, primary, not used. Yeah, we want that. What else? That's it. Just those 2 pages. All right, let's. So we've changed the hard disk mode to standard IDE with that hard drive, and let's hit end to save changes and exit. Yes, I am sure. We'll see what happens. No, disk reader code. Yes, that hard drive's probably cactus. But this is amazing. Like, signs of life. Like, 2 halves, $10 on the floor of an antique store. A little bit of wiring together and it keeps working. So, yeah, I think what I'll do next is just try to figure out the structure of this and see if I can even just get it to stay together. So there's going to be something wrong with the hinges. They need to secure into the base somehow. I'm seeing this would definitely sit there, and this looks like it definitely goes at the back here, like that, to hold the, yeah, just like frames the keyboard, and I don't know where all these other bits of plastic are coming from, but I'm very excited about this now. Yeah, hardy little machine. And the battery charges, look at that. So, just detected it went to battery. Oh! What is that screen? Oh, that must be the, maybe that's the hibernation? It's trying to store its memory to disk? Possibly? Because it's detected that it's got low battery? Let's plug it back in for now to see what happens when that resumes. Yeah, look at that. So even though it wasn't working, it must have like a system level hibernation where it actually dumps the state of RAM to disk. I don't know how it would go to disk when the disk wasn't working, but I wonder what happens if I hit power now. It's restoring from somewhere. That is astounding. And then it's back exactly where it was. Okay, so here we have all of the little bits of plastic that I've been able to recover so far. I'm sure there's more that I've lost entirely or that were missing when I picked this up from the antiques place, but this is, yeah, what I've found so far. So this is the bottom, obviously. It's missing a section on one side here, like one of these corners. It's not really missing. I mean, it is missing, but I think that's part of the hinge, and it's got a little bit of the, I don't know, this section is a bit broken off, and you can see that there is a pretty large crack forming, so I want to kind of get ahead of that. Then we've got the actual hinge mechanism itself, well, the hinge cover. So this is what goes on the back and actually sits kind of there in the laptop, and then the keyboard sits on top of that. So there's that bit. We've also got this is the right hand side of the keyboard, so that actually attaches in here, and it's actually in 2 parts. I just noticed, so this has actually got part of the hinge still in it. Look at that, I didn't even notice that. So that's the metal of the hinge, so that'll actually make it a lot easier to get this back together. But this is actually from there, so that fits back together quite nicely, and it doesn't look like there's anything extra really missing. That's actually a complete piece, so that should be repairable. And then we also have the front of the unit. It's kind of like the wrist rest, I guess, or more because of the size of the keyboard. It's more like that part of the hand rest. But the left side of the keyboard has this brace here, which fits right on the front there. You can see it slots together fairly nicely. And then the back up here has a little bit, which I think it connects onto here somewhere. Or perhaps not. Sort of did. The other part is actually on the... no, I swear it did. It connects this way, maybe? So that pin goes like that. There it goes. I knew it connected one way or another. So it connects in like so, and that is still missing it is still missing a good chunk from back here, and I don't have that anywhere, but this is actually where this part screws down into the hinge, so that's actually a pretty critical support bit that we'll need to repair. So yeah, those are the bits that I've got and I'm able to repair, and what I'm going to do is use one of these Bondic UV activated sealers. So what this actually is, as far as I'm aware, is it's effectively just a UV activated epoxy resin. So it's not necessarily a glue because they're not really gluing the pieces together, it's more adhering the two pieces with a bonding material. But yeah, so what I'm going to do, fill in a little bit of this, put those pieces back together, UV seal it with the little bloop, bloop light thingy that we get with the kit, and hopefully I'll be able to use enough of this to get a decent enough bond. It is fairly strong. And then I might even be able to sand it smooth or back to a regular surface like this. And if I can color match, I'll be able to then paint that bonded surface, the new resin, to match and hopefully hide some of those blemishes. It's effectively like a kind of like a bog sealer and glue all in one. So yeah, let's... Okay, so I don't think there was actually anything else on here, this bottom piece that was broken that I had a replacement part for. So that's our case, that goes on like that. We're going to give that a good clean. We will also give the bottom of the main unit a clean and the top cover of the keyboard a good clean as well, especially now that we've got those tidied up. And hopefully then we can try and get it back together and I can continue the search for a disk image of some kind that I can put on a hard drive to get in this thing. So I don't actually have... that hard drive did seem to work on when I plugged into my little USB adapter. So I'm not quite sure why it wasn't picked up by this guys, but what I'm going to do is I have some compact flash to the 44-pin IDE, 2.5-inch IDE adapters coming sometime soon, and I've got some 512 meg and 2 gig compact flash cards over there, so I'll actually probably format one of those, and I'll see if I can put the copy Windows that came with this thing on here so that it's like new. But this is the main board. It's pretty compact. I quite like it. Doesn't look like there's any damage to it at all. It actually looks pretty clean on the inside. I don't know how it got that filthy on the outside, but stayed so miraculously clean on the inside. But here we are. So just given how fragile these plastics are and how kind of brittle, what I'm actually going to be doing is, instead of taking these to the tub and giving them a good scrub with the Simple Green, I'm just going to use a little bit of spray and wipe and some makeup pads. And really, I'll just give those a good, and then give them a clean like that. And a lot of the dirt will come off in this way. There's not heaps of kind of embedded gunk in these, so it actually comes up pretty easily. Yeah, I'll just sit here for a while and do this. Yeah, so this is cleaned up a decent amount, but you can still see it's got quite a lot of actually ingrained dirt and heavy marks that just aren't wiping out. There's a lot of gunk in these grooves as well, and even on the side here you can see that it's still got just a lot of dirt kind of embedded in the texture. So I think that one's going to need a little bit of extra work. And I'm guessing the same thing for the bottom. So the outside of this took the worst of the dirt. I just don't think the spray and wipe's going to cut it. So what I'll probably do with these is use the old tried and true method of baking soda and use that abrasiveness of the bicarb soda to kind of get into the texture and force that dirt out. So let me go get that. Okay, so I've got a little cup of water and my tub of bicarb soda. So just going to, first of all, get my little rag here and just dunk the end in water. Get rid of the excess, we don't need too much. Just soak that into the rest, and then let's move one of these out of the way. We'll pop this. Just a bit of bicarb in the middle, and then we'll get to scrubbing. Yeah, that's already having a marked improvement. Yeah, look at that. All in all, I would call this a roaring success. As far as the libretto goes, from whence it came, it is now a fairly complete little notebook. So I've popped the little hard drive in there. As far as Windows goes, you saw I was running Windows 95, so that was a copy that I found on archive.org, provided by winword.com, I believe. It's a VMware image that I converted to an image and then just burnt into this hard drive, or imaged into this hard drive. and then pop it in there and it just booted straight up. I've added some Toshiba specific drivers for the Libretto, and it is running good, but I'm still trying to find the exact combination of drivers required for this particular unit. Most of the crack repairs actually turned out pretty well as far as I could get them, as well as good as I could get them. Some of them are fairly hard to see, like this one on the top, like, unless you really look for it. But realistically, I mean, given how, like I said, how I found this and how it's turned out, I'm quite happy with it. The only two things left to do now are to replace the CMOS battery. I'm just trying to source another one from eBay or something similar, and fix the hinges, I guess, because they don't really have anywhere to clip into on the sides here. That's not particularly nice. So this one is broken off the side there, but I have an intact hinge up here, but I don't have an intact hinge over here, and it's intact down here. So I just didn't bother. It holds itself closed pretty well. And then I'll just keep my eyes out for probably another broken one, but hopefully it's a hardware issue and not a physical issue, and I'll see if I can try to find good physical casings that I can then replace and swap these parts out into. But as far as items new in my collection, I thoroughly enjoy welcoming this Toshiba Libretto 100 CT. Anyway, that's everything. Thanks for watching. Have a good one.